there's been a lot of sort of if buts and maybes and sort of close calls in the Arsenal season so far. You look at the Inter Milan game, didn't deserve to lose that one really, but lost that because didn't take the chances. And we spoke about the defence just there, but it seems a lot of it's coming down to not taking the chances. And there's sort of a growing narrative now that Arsenal need a centre forward. It was a talking point a while ago, then sort of died down a bit when Arsenal had such a good season last season. No one was really complaining about lack of big centre forward or a centre forward. I recognised one more so than Havertz. Even at the start of this season, there was a lot of praise for Havertz and how he was carrying out that role as a centre forward, which maybe not his natural one. But you know, one goal in the last 3 games now is Odegaard. Obviously, does play a part in that with the creativity. But you've got Martinelli, you've got Saka. There's top quality players in that final third. Do you buy into the argument that Arsenal need a number 9, need a striker, and that might be the difference between some of these games you've started to drop points in and winning those games?
I think they definitely need another striker. I don't necessarily think for certain that they need a new starting striker. I just think they need a better option than they've got at the moment, because Gabriel Jesus has not been able, since his injury at the World Cup, he's just not the same player that he was, that just changed, as Arteta said, changed Arsenal's world before that. He came in and made such a huge impact, but we've just not seen that Gabriel Jesus for a long, long time now. So they need another option to play. I think Kai Havertz is fantastic, and I think he's been, like, what he did in the second half last season was superb after making that move to being a central striker. I think he started this season really well. Again, you talk about fine margins, you know, fractions in it, and he would have scored against Chelsea with that goal that was ruled out in the first half. The game against Inter Milan, the Inter Milan defender done an unbelievable block in the second half to stop his goal-bound shot going in. Fine margins. He's still doing an excellent job, I think, from my point of view, Havertz. But they definitely need another option. They know it as well. You know, they tried to sign Benjamin Sesko in the summer. If he'd have said yes at that point when he made the decision to come over to England, then Arsenal would have signed him and they would have spent 60 million odd to get that deal done. It didn't happen. He decided to stay and sign a new contract at Leipzig, and Arsenal obviously decided that whoever was number 2 on their list, they didn't really want to just put the money down for, and they were happy to bide their time. So they know they need a new striker. I'm sure one is going to arrive, if not in January, which I think still personally I doubt. But in the summer, I think a new signer will arrive. Whether that is Sesko after another year in Germany, we'll have to wait and see, or they go down another route. You look at the number 9s across, there's a couple, you know, Gyokeres, what he's doing at Sporting is obviously incredible. And it was interesting that no club took the decision took a punt on him in the summer and triggered that release clause after one season in Portugal. You would suggest after another season of doing the exact same thing and scoring the exact same number of goals, scoring in the Champions League, someone is going to make that move in the summer. Arsenal have looked at him in the past. You know, they're well aware of him, like every top club in Europe is going to be. So there are, when you look at the options, him, Osimhen will be talked about again, obviously, come the summer. But other than that, there's no real sort of standout number 9s. There's a real lack of them, I think, in world football right now. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see what they do. They definitely need to do something. I don't think it's just a number 9. I think they need another winger. You know, absolutely need another goal-scoring threat that they can bring on and change the games. You look at what Liverpool do, for example, when halfway through the second half, when things are, or even if things aren't going badly and they're still winning, they score goals, they'll still change basically. You know, Jota will come on if he's on the bench, or Gakpo will come on if he's on the bench. Nunez will come on if he's on the bench. They can just change things and still have top quality threats. Arsenal can't do that. That's what they need to do. And so they need to sign another number 9 and another winger to add that squad depth and give Arteta more options. And I'm sure they will do that. But one thing they don't do is rush into things anymore and sign someone that they don't want to sign. They can't get the person they want. They've shown they're happy to bide their time, but I don't think you can bide your time for too much longer, I have to say.
Yeah, well, but that is something, you know, Liverpool have generally tended to be quite good at, is if they can't find the right person, not just spending for the sake of it, whereas other clubs, you know, if I'm going to bring maybe Manchester United into it, might just buy someone because they feel they need someone, even if they miss out on the top target. So there's definitely something to be said for waiting for the right person. But do you think so? You mentioned the 2 strikers, potential ones there. They're going to be big money. You can't really see them happening in January, I would say. So is it a case of Arsenal need to sort of deal with what they've got now until next summer, do you think? Or because it's going to be hard to get someone in the level they want in January?
It is, but I think all clubs are going to be in the same position. You know, Arsenal, this window, Arteta, Jason Ito, who's the filling in the sporting director for Eddie, he's been his assistant, Richard Garlick, the managing director, they're all flying out to LA and they're going to spend some time at Kroenkes, and this is what they do every single November international break. They go over there and they lay out their plans for the summer to the Kroenkes in terms of transfers and everything like that. And so that's happening now as we speak. That will always be the priority. January will be as it always is, more of a reactive window than a proactive one. You know, if an opportunity arrives that they're just like, oh well, you know, we can get this done now, we should do it, they will. Or if someone comes in and makes a bid for a player, then obviously they might have to react to that and go out and try and sign someone else. So, but January is always that sort of window, I think. Especially, you know, if you're scrambling around trying to do things in January, you're in trouble a little bit. You're normally reacting to something, aren't you? So I think summer is still the absolute priority for them, but I think they're going to have decent money to spend in the summer. Yes, these players might be expensive, but I don't think that rules Arsenal out. They've shown with Declan Rice, if they need to spend big money, they will spend big money to get a player in that they absolutely think will improve the team or improve the squad. So I don't think that necessarily rules them out of going and getting, you know, one of the real top dollar players. But there is just going to be added on competition. I think with Gyokeres as well, the fact where Amorim has just rocked up to might just change things as well. You know, will he want to take him to Old Trafford? Will that give United a possible head start in that move? We'll have to wait and see. But Arsenal will be in the mix. I'm sure they'll be in the mix for some big money players. You know, again, in last window, though, if Nico Williams had decided he wanted to leave Spain, then Arsenal absolutely would have made a move for Nico Williams. I'm convinced of that. But again, he didn't want to leave Spain after the Euros. He wanted to stay for at least another season. And we'll see what happens with him come the summer. But again, same thing as Gyokeres. If Nico Williams decides, yes, this is time for me to take the next step, then it's going to be more than just Arsenal who are going to be in the mix for him.